Welcome back. You're tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW, where we help you navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. And today, Sarah and I, we are doing a little recap.
Year in review.
Yeah, a little recap. We've had a really fun time hosting the show this last year, and we've met a lot of really amazing people.
We have.
And so we thought it would be fun to just do a little recap of some of our favorite interviews, and
Yeah, it's exciting.
Our year
in review. There's so many. We don't get to highlight them all. But
yeah, so if you're listening and you were on the show and we're not
don't
highlighting
have hurt
you,
feelings.
yeah, don't.
We
Absolutely.
love you.
We love you anyway.
Yes.
So our first show,
Yeah.
early in the season when we first got going with it, we had Phil Rodecker on, and he was the owner, or still is. I think he still hasn't passed or anything, so that's good. He's a broker at John L. Scott and has the Rodecker Group. And we also had Kelsey Kidd on that episode, and she's the senior campaign manager for Team and Training. She actually moved away, so she's not doing that anymore. But Phil, it was a great interview with Phil. He has a really unique,
Like a niche product that he does for investors, right?
right?
Yeah.
People that want to
Invest in real estate.
either invest, buy and fix up and hold, or also people that want to flip.
Yep.
And so he's got a great program for that.
He teaches classes.
Classes
helps
that
you
are free.
strategize. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. He says one of the most important things if you're interested in doing that is your intention. You have to decide, are you a buy and hold person, or are you planning to flip? You should know that going in.
Mm-hmm.
And get educated about it. Don't just go out there because you saw a flip or flop show and you think it looks easy, because I don't think it is that easy.
No. So you have to have a good team and definitely a very, versed agent on your side who knows that market, and he does.
Yep.
So,
and then also, like I said, we had Kelsey Kidd on, and she is with Team and Training and works for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And so we wanted to play a little snippet of the show because a pretty cool thing happened on that show. So it's now time for our Riley Johnson Team Market Update. But before we get to that, Phil Rodecker has a little announcement. He's been inspired by our charities today. So
very moving. This whole course that you guys are on is so important. Personal to me, I had 2 family members that passed away with leukemia. That they just couldn't get the help. The resources weren't there. The knowledge wasn't there, and we're getting better and better at it. But I do believe we need help, and so I am willing today to donate to Patricia $1,000 towards her cause.
woo!
wow.
And I challenge anybody that knows me out there to get on her website and support her through this so we can save lives. I think it's very important. And I said it's very personal to me because I lost 2 family members with this deadly disease. And I am a bone marrow donor. And that's easy to do, too. All you do is get a swab in your mouth. They just swab it and they put it on record. And if you become a match, they'll call you and say, hey, you're a match. Let's see what we can do to save a life.
Wow, that's so fantastic.
Don't be afraid of that either.
That is awesome, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. I so appreciate that. And on behalf of LLS, that is amazing. So thank you.
Wow, that was so cool.
I know, it was so cool. So I'm actually training to do the triathlon again and fundraising. So, Phil, if you're out there, I'm going to be calling you to do what you did last year.
She needs some donations.
I need some dough. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that was a highlight. That
was definitely a highlight. And then, we had Brianna Nettleton, the co-founder and vice president of Footprints of Fight. They're a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to providing services for the family and patients of the pediatric cancer, section in Washington at Seattle Children's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've gone through that themselves, and then their story's so cool.
Their story is cool. Their 2-year-old was diagnosed, and that's what how their charity came about.
Yeah.
And really great organization. And at Caliber, we just supported them by doing a toy drive. And
we did. Our company did. Our branch at Kirkland Caliber office did that. And she actually lives down by us in Covington, and I follow her on Facebook and run into her at, Costco and Target and things like that. But, I mean, we have all these amazing people on the show that have just are doing so many amazing things for other people and changing lives.
Yeah. Really
I
cool.
feel so lucky. So then, okay, a real estate agent we're going to highlight.
Yes, we are. He's one of our faves.
One of our faves, Greg Ayala. He's the team lead and managing partner at Icon Real Estate Group, which is an amazing, real estate company that's grown so much in their short tenure of, I think,
Since 2011.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
okay.
Right?
No, They were only 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
okay.
anyways, but they're really growing and a lot. We've had actually all of their team. I think almost all. Just they're growing so much, but we've had most of their team members on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're experts in
They
real
do.
estate.
They do such a great job, but what's kind of unique about them is they're just amazing people,
Yeah,
and they really, really care
they do
about their clients and
about people in general. So
They really do.
Mm-hmm.
So we had just a little snippet that kind of give you an idea of the kind of person that Greg is. So roll that clip.
But, ultimately what I learned there, though, and kind of to answer your question, I learned there that business is about three things. It's about people, it's about product, and it's about process.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that ultimately at the end of the day, people always come first. But you also need to have a process that those people can buy into and leverage to create an amazing product for people to ultimately end up with. And that product is a representation of the people that were behind it. And I learned that.
Oh, Greg, we love you.
We love Greg. He's such a sweetheart.
Such a cool guy. So the next person we want to highlight is Trey Raybon from Family Outreach Specialist with Amara.
Mm-hmm.
And Amara works to ensure that every foster care child has love, support, and a committed family. They're a pretty cool organization.
They
We've had
are.
a lot of foster care,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Charities on here, and they're unique a little bit.
They are. Well, all of them, of all what we've learned of the charities is they're many of them have a common goal or a focus,
True.
but yet they all have a little bit different way of servicing the public and trying to help
Yeah.
people. These guys at Amaro, they have sort of three different services from the foster care, in the beginning. Then they have like an emergency sanctuary system that is if you just need to get help and a short-term place to stay, they have that where they can house you for like 3 to 5 days while they find you a foster care situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have the post-adoption because their organization works to get people from foster care to adoption.
Right.
And so then they have support for adoptive parents and families to help them adjust after the process. So
Yeah.
just a really neat organization. And if you're interested in fostering or adopting, check
Maybe
them out
someone
on
to
our
contact.
website.
Yeah. And one of the things I remember specifically from their interview that I really loved is, we have a huge, overwhelming amount of kids that are in foster care that need adoption. There's a shortage of foster care families. There's a shortage of adoption families. But they see anyone that's willing to love a kid, no matter what your race is, no matter who you choose to spend your life with, they find a home, and
Yep.
they give you kids to love.
Yeah.
So
No
I-
barriers
no.
really to
Mm-mm.
helping people,
which seems like a no-brainer, but it's pretty cool. So,
apparently.
yeah,
It's not. It's not with everybody.
not with everybody. So, and then who's our next agent we're going to highlight?
Okay, well, we don't want to be like too
Playing
repetitive
favorites,
here, but
we are playing favorites.
how can we not mention Ronnie Wilson in the house? Because Ronnie, he's
Yeah.
a 2-time guest
He
here,
is.
and he is definitely one of our
One of our
faves.
faves. I think he'd
Yeah.
actually be a co-host if we let him.
He would. He'd be here every week if we
I
let
don't know.
him.
He'd steal the show, so we don't let him come on that often.
Yeah, he's a little bit too good.
He's too good. He's too good. But we love them. He's the other managing partner of Icon Real Estate Group. And like we said before about Greg, they just, their whole philosophy for life, how they treat people, who they employ, how they treat their clients. It's pretty amazing. And then obviously their expertise and the service they provide is really bar none.
It is. They're a great team because Greg,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of came from actually more of a sales background, and he's really a numbers guy and kind of approaches it just from a do this and achieve that kind of thing from a number standpoint.
Right.
And Ronnie has the long-term real estate experience, and so between the two of them, it's a really great
It's
balance.
a match made in heaven.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. They got a major bromance going on, I think.
They do for sure. But so we asked Ronnie about his vision for growth and hiring new agents, and here's his response. Roll
We
it.
are not a brokerage, so we're not just trying to hire every agent. Obviously, for those who don't know, a brokerage, their business is agents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a brokerage is in charge of agents, and agents sell homes and help people buy homes, and the brokerage makes money off the agents. A team is basically a group of agents with under a brokerage. So in our case, we really need people that are going to be part of our culture, that are going to follow our our ethics and standards, and they're going to, I guess, be pointed in the same direction. You know, and that's to be really amazing at our jobs, and then also be on the pursuit of having a great life. And we just don't want anyone in our organization that just wants money. That kind of success, we all due respect to them. They can do that elsewhere. But we want to do really well for our clients. That obviously will translate to monetarily. And then personally, we want everyone pursuing a great life, whatever that means to them.
He's so cool,
Oh, yeah.
isn't he?
He is
I
the
mean,
coolest.
Yeah, it's like people first. That's
Mhm.
sort of just how they are. People
Yep.
first.
Yeah.
So pretty amazing. So then in September, rolling right along, we
Mhm.
had Keith Beach with the Jennifer Beach Foundation, and that was a real
That was a
heart.
tearjerker.
It was pulled at the heartstrings. As a matter of fact, when I was re-listening to the interview and kind of coming up with some notes, you were
I cried.
You were very tearful in that, but you held it together.
Mm.
Did a good
It's
job.
because we weren't on Facebook Live, so they couldn't see me crying.
Yeah, no, but you can hear it in the.
Was
yeah,
I
you
crying?
can you can
Oh.
hear it. But I had the advantage. I have the advantage of meeting with the charities and talking to them first, so I kind of get a little bit of a prelim, and Sarah was sort of blindsided by it. So,
It was a heart-wrenching interview. You should actually go re-listen to it on
You
our
should.
website.
but just to give you all a little bit of just backstory, real quick, is that the Jennifer Beach Foundation came about because Keith Beach. His daughter was in high school, and she noticed a possible domestic violence situation with a young child, and tried to get some attention, get some help. Wasn't sure what to do. Anyway, she ended up writing a poem about this, and turned that in to a teacher for a school assignment, and then she was killed in a car accident. And so the parents, Keith and his wife, they did not know anything about this. And then it came out later, and they read this poem that she had written about domestic, about this child abuse that she thought was being abused. And anyway, it started the premise for the foundation. And
But
they've
even
been-
more so, I mean, he took the poem and he took it to the mom of this child.
he did.
And he changed their lives. I mean, she didn't even realize what she was doing.
Mhm.
And then seeing it from an outsider looking in on it, they stopped abuse
They stopped abuse. They stopped the cycle, and
It- yeah.
potentially saved a child.
and then started a foundation and have saved many people's lives.
yeah, since 2001 they've been going, and it's a great organization.
Mm-hmm. And then in October, we had Mark Coleman, the Director of Marketing and Communications at Food Lifeline. I didn't know anything about Food Lifeline until they came on, and it's
No,
amazing. That is an amazing interview. He's a professional.
yeah, he was totally slick and smooth, way more than us.
Put us to shame, basically. Because
Although he was very complimentary to us.
he was.
Yeah.
He was. But Food Lifeline is working to end hunger in Western Washington by mobilizing resources and engaging communities. It's amazing how much food is out there that is being wasted that could be feeding hungry people.
Yeah, and there are so many hungry people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to let you know, 1 in 5 kids. Is that right? 1 in 5 children are hungry.
Yes. Are hungry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the organization is so amazing. So Mark, he was a professional weatherman, so that's why we were saying he was, really good on the radio. It's a
'Cause
great
he's
interview.
He's been on the live on the news.
Live, yeah, not
Yeah.
just radio, but live,
Mhm.
right? Anyway, he wanted to do something bigger, and he worked at Pause for a long time, and then he ended up going to Food Lifeline, and just, it's amazing. They feed over 800,000 people last year.
Yeah, they basically take the food from, the excess food that at the grocery stores that maybe like there's a label on there that's from Christmas, and now Christmas is over. They take all that food and then distribute it out to the food banks to get to the homeless and hungry people. So
From
that
from restaurants, from farms, grocery stores.
Starbucks is one of their people because they
Yeah.
get rid of their stuff every night.
Yeah, it's goes in the garbage can if it doesn't get sold that day. So it's perfectly great food. So they, it's amazing. They have over 13,000 volunteers that work together because they have this enormous warehouse and they bring in 40 million. Well, there's like 40 million pounds of food that's rescued a year. And so they bring it all in there, and then they have to have people to, sort and organize into meal size servings and
Put the
all
potatoes
that.
in bags.
Yeah.
Things
And
like
if you're
that.
looking for a volunteer opportunity and you have young kids, it's awesome because kids can volunteer there as young as 6 years old.
Yeah, which is really unique because I actually look to get the kids to volunteer this holiday season, and most times they have to be 13. So,
Yeah. There's not many places they can go to do that.
Yeah.
And they let you have a party there after if you want to have like a salsa dance lesson or whatever. You can go volunteer.
Sounds like a
and
great
then
time. Sign up.
have a party. It's perfect.
So, anyways, that was a really cool interview, Food Lifeline, with Mark. So,
Yep.
and then our last show we're going to highlight was just last month, and that was Tashar with Fly Homes, and they have such a unique approach to real estate.
They
Right.
do. It's totally different because they are not really, well, they are now. They're licensed, but I mean, they didn't come from a real estate background. The whole
Right.
company is founded on people with just a different way of thinking and
Really smart people from tech industries that decided they can improve on the buying process for home buyers. All they work with is home buyers. It's really neat. They're closing a deal a day, a home a day.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they have an aggressive approach to help their buyers win. They have like a guaranteed close, so that makes their offers as good as cash because if their buyer backs out for any reason, then they actually buy the home.
Yep. Buy the home. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
They have some other perks too, and we
Yeah.
have a little clip that we're going to play that when he's talking about that. So roll that clip.
You got to have some fun as well when you're buying the biggest purchase of your life.
Yeah.
When we got started, we got lucky and sort of got into connection with Alaska Airlines,
Okay.
which is such a phenomenal local airlines here in Seattle. And, we thought, might as well, people have just spent a bunch of money trying to buy their home. Why shouldn't they take some awesome vacations after that and
Wow.
still be able to, do fun things? So we ended up partnering with Alaska where we give 1 mile for every dollar value of your new home.
Wow.
So if you bought $1 million home, you have 1,000,000 miles that can take you around the world.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding? Is that so? That's why you got the name Fly Homes.
It's interesting actually. The name was around easier process, streamlined service. But when we got this partnership with Alaska Airlines, naturally it became too close association. So
Yeah.
now a lot of folks think about that, and it kind of works well.
It does
It
work.
works really well.
I thought it was because your homes were flying off the shelf. That's
Yeah.
that was a fun interview.
It
too.
was. It
They're
was
all
really
so fun.
They are
This
fun.
is fun to look back on.
I
them.
know. It's amazing how many, I mean, it kind of reminds you like how many people we've talked to over the last year.
Yeah, every Thursday, at least 2 people.
I
It's
know.
a lot of peeps.
That's a lot of peeps. We got a lot of peeps.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they in addition to that, they also do things like Uber, Lyft credits for
Yeah.
people that won't buy in the city and they don't want to have a car, so they give them a bunch of credits so they can just travel back and forth for
So
free
cool.
and give
So cool.
closing costs, cash for
Credits.
things.
Yeah.
Anyway, they do a lot of
They
great
do a
things.
lot of cool things.
Fly Homes, you should check them out.
You should. All right. Well, that's the wrap. Is that the wrap of the year?
That is the wrap of the year. I wish we had time to talk about more, but thank you for tuning in to our show today. When we come back from the break, we'll be chatting with Annie Blackledge from the Mockingbird Society. To learn more about topics discussed today, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.